Welcome everybody, Shauna Mayfield, Theraphase Biofield Tuning. Today I am jumping on to make a little video about this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that is happening in Taurus. It is April 20th, 2024. And I've been kind of looking into how this is playing out in my own natal chart, and perhaps some of you already are doing the same. And if you haven't, I encourage you to do that. It's a time to look into greater cycles of time that are happening with these outer planets that have meaning more beyond personal and your life, but also on a collective level, greater shifts of time. And so the cycle between Jupiter and Uranus coming into conjunction happens every 14 years. And the last time that it happened in the sign of Taurus was, I believe, 1940s, early 1940s. And so this perhaps could be probably the only time that it's going to happen in your lifetime. And so I was kind of doing a little bit of reading into some of my favorite astrologers, which is Dane Rudyard, and he happens to have this fantastic book. The Astrology of Personality. And in there is a chapter that's all about these individual, collective, creative, and the cyclic process. And so there's this little bit in here about the cycle from seed to seed. And this is very interesting to me. I wanted to read it to you and share it to you because he really goes into this Trinity process of beginning, middle, and end of any cycle. And so when we understand where we are at in that point of a cycle, we can better align ourselves intentions, and then also the physiological aspect of ourselves, just bringing it all into wholeness, because again, that is what this is all about, is integration and understanding the whole and complete template. So I'm not an astrologer, but I am a person who loves to learn, and I've studied on my own, studying my own birth chart and my family's and my children, my kids, and it's helped me deeply to understand the whole composition of myself and the interaction between other people, and just to really be appreciative, actually, that all of these different expressions can come through. So with astrology, the way it's an easy way to explain it is that these planets are like archetypes and characters. They have different qualities and expressions on the positive and negative polarity, different ways. And then they're also interacting with each other with angular expressions, squares, trines, sextiles, and such on. And so with a conjunction, that means that these two planets are at their closest point where they're coming together. And a conjunction is symbolic of an ending, but also the new beginning. And so it's like the seed of whatever is going to start new on this 14-year cycle, specifically between Jupiter and Uranus. But all conjunctions have that potency, you know, with the moon even. And so that's just one of the ways that we can see this. So we can look at the planets like characters, archetypes, qualities, and the aspects as the relation between each other. And then when you see the whole zodiac itself being played out over 12 houses, the houses are really a division of your life, and as you go through into different stages, different areas of life. And so when we look at these transits, we're going to find out what part of our life is being activated with these particular archetypal energies. And so we look in this case, with this conjunction happening in Taurus, you would be looking into your birth chart wherever Taurus is. Everybody has Taurus somewhere, all the signs somewhere. And so then you would look and see what planets are in that house, and then what aspects they are making to other planets. And that will give you a lot of information about how this transit is potentially going to affect you, because it's outer planet, you know, the planets are obviously out there, but we are all connected through magnetic fields, and we have an inner zodiac. Our body itself is like a zodiac. And so when we're processing these changes, it's also happening on a physiological level and a spiritual level and all these other different levels, but it's keying in on wherever the action is happening in the houses. And so I think what I wanted to do was a little bit of tuning, a little bit of journaling, and tuning into the energies of what's going on between Jupiter and Uranus, because you can kind of see how Jupiter is very much about expanding and greatness and learning and wisdom. And Uranus is very electric and rapid and fast and sudden and radical, and can be very dramatic in the way things shift, like a lightning bolt. So you got lightning bolts and expansion happening somewhere in your birth chart, in your life. And so the question is, what is happening to you? And is what is beginning and what is ending in that sense? Because it's not something you might notice just today or over the next few days, but over the whole 14-year cycle is a theme that's being played out. And so when we think of this as the beginning point, we can set that intention for how we'd like to see that develop for your best, most optimal growth and expansion in the most gentle way that's not going to be too abrupt to your system. So that's why we do journaling. That's why we do tuning and work with electromagnetic fields and tuning into the body and our own soul, psyche, to listen into our own guidance as to what wants to happen to help us shift. All right, let's get into this. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what this means as far as this conjunction being in Taurus. I'm going to read to you a little bit from this amazing website that I found, and there's so many out there really to get into, but astrobutterfly.com is talking about this, and she says, of course, you know, we know that Jupiter has the amplification effect, and so Jupiter is going to amplify the Uranian themes such as change, innovation, liberation, and we might have huge, like Jupiter is huge breakthroughs under this influence. And so she says Jupiter Uranus historically correlates with groundbreaking developments that have shaped history and have changed our perception of what's possible: quantum physics, moon landing, the internet. She says here that Jupiter conjunct Uranus is a celestial invitation to go places we've never been before. Jupiter is higher knowledge and Uranus is meta knowledge of the universe. That type of knowledge that transcends 3D reality. When you have an idea seemingly out of nowhere, that's Uranus at work. You basically get like an informational download straight from consciousness. And so she asks, what does this mean in concrete terms? What does it mean for you at an individual level? It means that you're going to be able to see your life from a broader perspective. You can find a solution to a seemingly unsolvable problem. The pieces of the puzzle come together, and if you've been feeling stuck in a rut, you're now going to see from a different option, different perception, different scenario. It might be frightening, but also exciting. So there's some things in your life that may no longer be resonating with you. They may feel off. And so when Jupiter and Uranus are going to come together, they're going to pop the bubble. Something's going to break free. And the type of change that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is calling for can be disruptive, but it's ultimately designed to help you grow and evolve into the next version of yourself. Remember, however unsettling, Uranus's goal is to shake us up from things we've already outgrown, whether or not we are aware that we've outgrown them. And so now she's going to talk about Taurus. Taurus is a fixed earth sign representing material reality. It's our resources, not only the financial, but intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. Taurus is all about what's ours, what we're willing to invest our time, energy, and effort into so we can create a better life for ourselves. Sometimes it's difficult to find the link between value creation, our resources, and abundance, what we get in return. Sometimes we don't really know what we're good at and what's that valuable thing that we have to offer the world. So she says, thankfully, Jupiter and Uranus will bring that higher perspective, problem-solving energy, helping us understand what exactly we need to do to create the type of future that aligns with who we truly are, as well as with our deepest desires and aspirations. Jupiter in Taurus will give us a much-needed confidence boost. I have what it takes to provide for myself, and Uranus will help us discover new opportunities to direct these talents and resources towards realizing our dreams. She says this transit is not an easy fix. It's not a winning the lottery kind of thing. We're talking about a 14-year cycle, and so it's about changing the direction of your life in a structural way. The results don't manifest overnight. Yeah, it's so Jupiter conjunct Uranus is that sometimes not so obvious decision to move the steering wheel in a certain direction that will set the course for the future. She says Taurus is our sense of autonomy, and with Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus, we are ready to invest in what matters to us and what matters in the long term. Taurus is a sign that stands for its ground. Our actions and decisions will be rooted in our deepest visceral values. I like that. Let's see what else she has to say here. Taurus is here to remind us that no one knows what's right for us better than we do. No one can tell us how to live our lives. This breakthrough can feel either liberating or frightening if we're not used to standing up for ourselves. But there's no way back to the old ways. Something needs to break free. All right, so that's kind of the overall stuff about it. And then right after that conjunction, we've got a full moon in Scorpio to help really get to make sure it's getting to the bottom of things. You know, we're really deeply feeling it. We're not just seeing things on a surface level, but it's the full, you know, Scorpio is the depth of everything. Great. I think we will go ahead and get into some tuning and a little bit of journaling and see what is going to come through. Okay. But what I wanted to do was to do more of the journaling and tuning in and kind of sensing into the energies overall and the collective experience, but also in myself. And so I invite you to grab a piece of paper, your journal, and a sketchbook, or whatever is comfortable for you. Grab yourself a whole set of colorful things to work with. Sharpies are awesome for that. Sharpies and highlighters. It doesn't have to be fancy. And get a big glass of water and get comfortable and relaxed in a position where you can really just start sensing into the moment. And so a place that's quiet and peaceful would be great. So we're going to start things off with 174 hertz fork. And we're going to begin with grounding the electrical body and just starting to calm the nervous system and get into a more deeply relaxed state while also being very creatively aware, the alpha theta brainwave cusp. And so I invite you to take a deep breath here. Just really start allowing your body to become more relaxed. And you can do that just by noticing yourself, dropping your awareness into the body, becoming aware of all the muscles that are holding. Relaxing the face, relaxing your shoulders. And with your exhale, let your breath flow down the legs, down through the bottoms of your feet. And just start connecting with the earth below. You really should have bare feet on, by the way. Bare feet on, you put those on. So we're gonna bring awareness down into the tailbone and the sacrum. Kind of get relaxed and soft down there, letting go of any of that muscular tension that can be kind of tight. Really just starting to feel more fluid in your spine. So you want to let yourself be able to move. When you take deep breaths, sometimes the shoulders want to rotate or the neck. And so when we start sensing into the body and what wants to happen, oftentimes some kind of movement and yawning, maybe opening and closing the hands and the fingers. I like to rotate my ankles, my feet, and just starting to really get into a rhythmic flow of your breath. All right. And so next what we're going to do is draw up charge from the earth and actually start activating our central channel. And so we can do that with intention. Just bring your awareness down to the energy center below your feet. We call it the Earth Star. It's the negative battery terminal for your toroidal energy field. Just activating this point of awareness. And then also beginning to draw up the charge. You can sense that every time you take an inhale. Feel the negative charge from the surface of the earth being drawn up through the bottoms of your feet and rising, connecting with the central channel. Coming out the crown, the top of your head, and coming down the outer edge of your biofield. It's integrating into the circulation of your electromagnetic field. Let's just see and feel that current of energy. Having a free flow pathway coming up from the earth through the central channel, blasting through any tension and resistance or blockages that you may be feeling in this moment as it's trying to come all the way through. Let's just take another breath. Good. Next, with your awareness down back at that Earth Star, go ahead and drop down a root to the core of the earth, to the center. And that root is really your grounded cord, and you can visualize it however you like. Okay. Now we're going to come up to the top of the head. So shift your awareness up to that space above your head. And we're going to connect with your sun star. So sense into that space above your head and just see what you notice. This is where we collect the positive charge energy stream coming in from all the light above us from the sun and all the stars. So we're activating, opening, while also connecting with the sun. Start sensing our star. Just sense this core aspect of the sun. This is like reverse grounding, but into the star. So just see that as a clear stream of light coming from the sun, the center of the sun, dropping into your sun star, drawing in positive charge, activating the sun star. And then flowing down through the central channel in a descending current, all the way to the bottoms of your feet. Out the bottoms of your feet, recirculating back up the outer edge of your toroidal structured energy field. Just sensing for a moment your bidirectional flow of currents coming through, one going up, one going down, and you're grounded. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is activate the paper, and I'm going to use weighted forks to do that. It's really important to drink a lot of water when you're working with energy. It helps your body stay more hydrated, obviously, which is going to let more charge flow through you. Okay. So here we have some weighted forks. These are the Fibonacci pair. And so one is 144 hertz and the other one is 89 hertz. And these are right next to each other in the Fibonacci sequence. And they are relating to the frequency of the golden ratio, this divine pattern of order. And so I like to use these when we work with templating. And this is a bit of their binaural sound, just allowing that to come through. I do like to bring this to the page. And so right here, I'm actually kind of making an intention to connect with Jupiter and Uranus in my own way. And so I'll invite you to do that as well. Whatever way feels good for you. I'm already getting a lot of visuals of just this exponential electricity. Okay, so this feels active and ready to go. And what I'm going to do here is just start tuning, listening, and you need to do the same and really just keep your breath nice and open and fluid as we start getting into this. So I'm going to start with 144 hertz. This is the lowest toned unweighted fork that I have. It's actually really cool to have 144 plus the 144 from the Fibonacci pair. I'm going to do that. So you can visualize and use your active imaginative powers to start connecting with Jupiter and Uranus. So it's like a regular reunion, a family reunion, or more like a very business meeting of some kind. And so you can start journaling and drawing at any moment. This is not some kind of like how to, it's more about a space to open up and see what wants to come out. I'm going to grab my initial tool here, the black Sharpie, and just go with what I was initially seeing here. Don't get judgy about what you do. Doesn't matter if it's perfect circles or whatever. This is like playfulness. Give yourself a lot of leeway to just grab other things, highlighters, colored pencils, watercolors, whatever makes sense for you. So just begin. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tapping into Jupiter. Deep. I guess there's the jovial giant. He's the jovial giant, right? And it was like this deep, open mouth, belly laughing. This planet is so large. It's like it's saying nothing. There's no way to constrict this. It's like Jupiter is laughing because what's gonna happen when you're with this Uranus is nothing can withstand what has to happen for each person. That it's different. Just a radiant blast of light that really like annihilates what isn't meant to be there anymore. It's like white light blasts it all and disintegrates it, and then it's leaving this crystalline kind of template that's left in the atmosphere of of when they come together, and then there's this blast, and then it leaves like a vibrational imprint in the field. Sort of like this antsiness, really, like almost the Uranian. I think the Uranian energy is really like could almost be anxiety, but it's like the crispy, crackling, very crackling, and then this Jupiter is just like so pleased, this feeling that I'm getting from Jupiter. Satisfaction, the satisfaction of knowing what what Jupiter knows, like the wisdom of Jupiter. Okay, I'm gonna bring in a new tone. Now, what wants to happen here? Let's listen to 89 hertz for a second. Just check in with your body here as we're sensing Jupiterian, Uranian energies and how that is, what is it radiating in there in your body, and how is that reflected in your environment? Kind of an interesting place to feel. Like a little, it's almost like upper throat above the thyroid, right under the jaw palate, like this. It makes me want to really relax my tongue. Ugh. So, we are at the beginning of another 14-year cycle between Jupiter and Uranus. There's a new seed casing, a new germination process happening. We are at the unity point again, where we are sensing into the whole picture, the wholeness of what is going on here. And so with Jupiter, we have the thematics of ideas, beliefs, relationships with the world and society, humanity, higher learning and wisdom. Jupiter wants to expand, and Uranus is coming in to puncture. So we have a seed. There's the center of the seed. Okay, now I still feel like this is a deep tones. Not quite ready to go to the higher tones yet. All right, Uranus. Ooh, it's talking about regulating the electricity that's coming in. It's showing like the nervous system, and there's this if we don't have the awareness of how to do our own energy work, our own energy hygiene, basic grounding, clearing, cleansing our bodies, then this could potentially feel kind of uncomfortable, glitchy. It can be causing energies to run too fast, high rhythm, too fast of a rhythm, or it could zap you and drain all the energy out. So right, it's like moving the body, taking good care of your needs in that way, with the hydration, with taking walks, stretching, and do whatever it is that your body is asking you to do to regulate energy. It might mean that you need to do something different in your diet, or your thoughts might need an adjustment if something's really sending you off in a loop. Dysregulation. So that's the propensity to be a zapped battery or overcharged. So that is the message from Uranus. And so now we're going to think about more of how this is a Taurus lens, which is ruled by Venus. And so we're looking at beliefs and radical liberation and restructuring of what we value about life, ourselves, what matters, your resources, what is the most important substance. But it's not just material things and your possessions, but it's how you value, it's yourself and what you have cultivated within yourself that's getting the adjustment here. This is really wanting you to see differently, see from a totally different angle. And when you look at your birth chart, you're going to see what house that we're talking about. What are we talking about? What kinds of beliefs and perceptions will be changing? For example, if this was happening in your 7th house, this would be all about your relationships with not only your intimate partner, but with other people in the world. And that would be getting blasted and reorganized and illuminated for you to see differently. Or maybe it's happening in your 1st house, having to do more with your yourself, your identity in the world, how other people see you, but also your body, your physical health. Okay, I'm feeling like we're ready to move things into another level. Let's go ahead and bring in a 417 hertz. And we're just going to continue this process of letting your sketching, your journaling transpire. Sometimes we can use words even if you would like to put that on there. These representations of whatever's coming to you. Oops. Noticing your breath. If you don't know what to do next, just free flow. I don't know what I'm doing. Just kind of letting my mind wander while my hands are doing this. It's kind of like doodling, which is just something for the left brain to do, right? You're just kind of working on doing this, and then while I can also simultaneously relax my body and just let this process happen. And ultimately, what is coming out as maybe like rough and raw will start to take a shape of something that's more beautiful, because your state is becoming more relaxed as you integrate this information. This is information. Uranus is kind of having this softening happen, where it's becoming more of like a mercurial viscosity, very fluid and not so sparky. It's like a different substance as we're approaching the process of really allowing the transformation to take place, the illumination to be seen. There's a new quality that is being cultivated in this central seed position as the conjunction happens. So it softens and it is slightly warming. So it's bringing more of like a metallic silver lavender. It's like a satisfaction that happens afterwards between the two planets. Because they balanced the distribution of charge. It's like the planets, when they come together, reset their whole fields, their electromagnetic magnetic fields. It's a calibration. So as it's happening with us, it's also happening with the planets, and so that's the reflection. There's a lot to get into with this. I've come up with my own kind of beginning of how to carry this forward. And I hope that you have also found that there's some substance coming through as you allow yourself to relax into this dialogue, the psyche, the soul, whatever aspect of consciousness wants to come through right now. But this is gonna take some time to really work through. So I'm going to end with a little bit of a higher frequency here, 528. We will let that bring you to a perfect fifth. Ultimately, you are going to generate meaning for yourself. And the more that you can inner sense what is happening in your body and your own psyche, your own different aspects of consciousness, ask based on your own desire to know. And then that will be revealed to you. When you start getting into meditation, journaling, sensing your own energy, and what it feels like when it's regulated and when it's not. How to come into a balance. All right. Best to you all. And let me know in the comments what you think about this kind of stuff. And what you are experiencing in your own life as we're all going through this in our own way.